So it is a very bleak and gloomy day on the homestead today. When I checked the thermometer this morning, it was 38 degrees and raining. The snow is just melting away. I was talking to Mrs. W and we kind of were both of the opinion that we probably have seen the last. Maybe things have turned around and starting to see like little critters, little bees coming out. So we'll see. You never really know, and here anything could happen. But today is really going to be exciting. And so what we're doing today is, as we've been doing in the past series, is getting our shop organized and into a system of tools. And so the problems I've had in the past, if you're joining us for the first time here, just to reiterate quickly, is having stuff scattered all over the place and not really know what I'm having. So what I'm trying to do into this shop and is incorporate the old with the new. Now, I don't want to give up modern power tools. There's some homesteaders out there that are, in my opinion, somewhat elitist and think that you need to, do everything by hand. And if you do things using power tools or modern equipment with power tools, that you're not, you're not the real deal. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's why we talk about modern homesteading. Yes, I want to be able to use my chainsaw and table saws and modern tools, but I also don't want to be, left out in the cold if something happens and get flat-footed if I don't have access to power. So as I'm setting this up, I'm always thinking of that. Yes, I want to use the modern tools and take advantage of those, but I also want to protect not only the heritage but to keep those skills alive and of how to use those things and to actively use them. I don't do every project, with a bit and brace, but I do a lot of them, probably half of what I do. It all comes down to time. But I think it's really important. I think it's a really interesting hobby because these old tools are so valuable because they're just not being produced anymore. Not very much. It's starting to change a little bit, but these old tools are actually really wonderful. So what we're going to cover today is everything that I could possibly find. I went through all of my hand tools and of how to drill a hole without using electricity, and this is what I came up with. So we're going to build a really nice rack system for that's going to use our French cleat, and we can see what we have and grab them and use them and be more likely to use them when you know that they're there. So what we're going to be covering today, and this is really interesting to me, and I've never used one before. These are Yankee screwdrivers. First time a subscriber gave these to me to one of the Mother Earth News Fair, and these two are wonderful. This is a little one, is a Stanley, and when I first grabbed one of these this morning, and I was messing around with it, I'm like, how does this thing work? Because as I said, I've never used one, and I turned this thing, and that thing jumped out on me and almost gave me a heart attack. But we'll cover these and how these work. We're going to try them out and see. And these are just exquisitely in exquisite condition. Just wonderful. Here's a little one right there. So we're going to talk about the Yankee screwdrivers, and we're going to talk about the little hand drills. Here's a little Stanley Handyman, a small one for doing pilot holes, and we've got the I think this is a Fuller Mills. This is a nice one here, a little bit bigger one, a double gear drive. This one needs restored yet. That's a project for the future. And then of course our braces. These belong to my granddad here. Granddad's old brace. That's the one, my favorite one. This is a non-ratcheting. And then you should always have two. You want a brace of braces. Look at that. Mrs. W's not the only one that can pun around here. Here's one that's ratcheting. And that's really nice for you get in a tight area, like boat builders, or you need to drill a hole and you can't clunk, clunk, you're running around. You can ratchet. So that's really important. And oh man, I was so sad to see this. I went through my tools that I had out. One of the main reasons why we're doing this shop is because everything's getting ruined. I painstakingly restored this belly drill. This is a cool one for drilling horizontally, right? It's even got the spirit level in there. Isn't that neat? That whole video, but it's got a little surface rust on it. It's okay. I've got a blast cabinet with soda in it. We'll hit it. It'll clean it all up. Not a big deal, but it's nice to get it in because if I leave these out there, they'll just get worse. Even though I covered them with oil, so that's not going to happen anymore. So these basically make up my tools, and a few bits here. Let me show you those. In our display rack, of course, we're going to want to make room for one of my favorite things: a complete set of Irwin auger bits with the original finger jointed box. And with the instructions in them. Just love these. So we want to have those there. You know, everything in one area. We want to drill holes. We want to take a step to one spot, have everything we need. Also, so these are the bits for the Yankee screwdrivers. And the Yankee screwdrivers, as far as I can tell, were essentially the original cordless drill. You know, for all those little tasks of putting screws in. We're going to try that out later. Never used one. And then, of course, these belong to my granddad here. Really, look at the original box. Isn't that neat? The Irwin Auger Bit Company, made in USA. Irwin's not made in USA anymore. These were my granddad's things. And this is an adjustable bit that you can go all the way up to 1.5 inches. We've played with those in the past. They actually worked really good. Here's another one. I think this one is brand new. Granddad's things with the instructions on it. Isn't that neat? That is neat. Looks like kind of a match set right there. Irwin, number 2, Irwin Lockhead, number 21. No, they're a little different. Don't know why. And then he had a couple extra ones there. There you go. This one goes up to 3 inch. What's a big one there? Boy, it'd take a man to turn that one, wouldn't it? This one here, looks like those are about the same. So we want to have a place for those as well. I don't think I've shown you what I built last night. So part of the plan, of course, is everything having its place and everything being on a French cleat, so we can put it anywhere we want to. So I built this little shelf. It's what is it? I don't know, 12 or is it 16? Maybe 16 inches by 6 inches to hold all my measuring devices. And this is, I have really enjoyed this today, using this. So what I've got is I've got my little scribe. I've got my old school tape measure, you know, redundancy, you know, thinking back to these modern tapes, you know, these are wonderful to use, but they don't last very long. So, you know, in the hard times, this is something that'll last a lifetime. That's what old carpenters use forever. My speed square, got that in there. 2 angle. This is the one that was given to me by my man, Big Lou. How's it going, Big Lou? This was his grandfather's. This is my favorite one. So those are for measuring angles. I got 2 of those. This one's from Japan. That's a neat one. Well, the Japanese make some nice woodworking tools, and they're so affordable. So, what's going on there? That backwards. Some dial indicators. I've got these, who are these made by? I forget. These precision markers. I kind of like those sometimes. Calipers there. Squangle. Right there, that's what we call them. Maybe that's a Western name. This is usually for roofing, but it's really handy for marking and doing angles. This is the only tool that I have that belonged to my dad's father, JW. Didn't have a middle name or a middle initial, just W, JW. It's got his name carved in there, so that's really cool. It's the only thing that I know of that I have that belonged to him. And I've got this. I use this for doing trims and miters. I'm using my tool belt. That fits in there. And then 2 combination squares. And I would like to have another one or 2 that's a little bit longer. And so I've made spots for 4. Ultimately, I'd like to have 4 of those in different lengths. So I got expansion. It's expandable there for the future. So that's nice. Got everything in one spot. This is going to be so wonderful to get everything in one spot. So we're going to build a really nice rack. And what I have been doing is I've kind of gotten all the tools that I need to use, right? And I put them together. And what's been really helpful to me is that when I built my rack for my gluing clamps, Anyway, I made a mistake. This is a mistake for it, but this has been really helpful because it kind of gives me an idea of spacing on all of these things. And so I've just taken this, and it works out pretty good that a 2-foot shelf, we can get everything in there. And the way that the size of it seems to be a really great fit. It's 1.25 inches. That 1.25 inches seems to fit almost everything. So we're going to make a shelf. We might as well just make it just like this. I think the spacing looks good. And 24 inches, we'll do a couple of nice corbels on it, but we're not going to use plywood for this one. We're going to do something super fancy. I've got an unboxing for you guys that like you've never seen before. So I am very sorry. My man Chad from Mutter's Paw Lumber sent me this package of hardwood. I haven't even opened it yet. I've had it here for a long time. I've been trying to get to it. I'm sorry, Chad, it's taken so long. But what's cool about this is that Chad runs a sawmill and he'll mail order hardwoods for you. So many of the questions that I get from those of you guys that are starting to get into woodworking, how do I find this nice wood? How do I find material? How do I find 8-quarter material to make my hickory or ash axe handles? Well, problem solved. I'll put a link in the subject heading for Chad's website here, Muter Spa Lumber. So he sent me a package. I don't know what's in it. We're going to find out here. So let's open this up, because I thought I haven't worked with hardwood really before. I mean, apart from a few scraps I had around here for making some jaw clamps, all that. But oh my, look at that! There's even some 8-quarter in there. Let's pull it up on the bench here and see what this is. My goodness, look at this. This is exciting. So, well, there we go. Got Chad's number right there. I'll hook you guys up. Right there. Chad, thank you. You want to order hardwoods? Locally milled in Ohio. Is that right? Isn't that Ohio, if I remember right? Yeah, Ohio. Look at that. Thank you, Chad. So this here, oh, so he's written on it. This is a 4-quarter. Look at that curly maple. Boy, that is pretty. It's so pretty. That is so beautiful. I don't even think that's going to come through in the camera. It's got that glossy sheen on. Can you imagine what that would look like? You put some oil on that. Boy, that's nice. So we're gonna use one of these to make our fancy drill holder. You know what I was kind of thinking is, I don't mind the plywood for just the normal tools, but for the nice heirloom tools, it's kind of neat to make, do the same basic design, but to use some nice wood. That is beautiful. Cherry, my favorite wood. Cherry, 4-quarter. So it's 2 pieces of the maple. Sorry, curly maple. Must get that curly. Can you see the grains in there? Can you see them? They're all wiggly like that. Boy, that is beautiful. We got more here. So we've got, there's 4 pieces. This looks like cherry. I do love cherry. Cherry is beautiful. This is 4-quarter cherry. Boy, that is nice. Look how clear it is. Doesn't have a knot in it. That is nice. And then we've got this is interesting. This is a big old piece. This looks like 8-quarters, not very heavy. What is this? Oh, it looks like is it reclaimed? Let's see, reclaimed. What does this say? So this is 8-quarter, meaning probably 2 inches. It looks like a full 2 inches to me. 8-quarters, usually, what is it, 1 7/8? Means it's 8-quarters. Yeah, this is 1 15. 1 15/16. So what's this say? This is a ambrosia. Is it ambrosia maple? That's a light maple. That's interesting, isn't it? Well, look at all the holes in it. That's pretty. That is nice. So Chad also sent a letter here. Let's see what that's all about. Muter Spa Lumber. Interesting name. It says here, Cody, I thought you might enjoy a little lumber to play around with. My brother, Judd, had contacted you to see if it was something you could use. Sorry, I'm just getting to the finally sending it out. He and I are big fans of the channel. Keep up the good work. Hope all is well. God bless. Chad and Judd, Muter Spa Lumber Company. Thank you, Chad. Thank you for the nice letter. Now we have to decide which one we're going to use. Okay, so we're definitely not going to use the ambrosia maple because it's 8-quarter. And I don't want to plane down 8-quarter by hand. So we're down between the cherry. Cherry's nice, but everyone uses cherry. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the curly little crown in there. The curly maple. I hope it's dry. Well, it was all going so well. We're making such good product. We're making such good project. I'm not feeling very well today. Mrs. W came out, and I thought, you know what? I would rather go hang out with her than make this video. So that's what I did. I'm not feeling very well. I got some sort of respiratory illness, and I just didn't have any energy today. So that was about all that I could do. So we'll pick this up, the rest of it, finish it up tomorrow. So should I even talk about this? I'm probably going to regret it. I know Mrs. W is not going to be happy with it. She likes me to stay away from controversy, but I think it's important because it affects
so many of us that are YouTube creators. So this whole the whole thing with Pewdiepie, if you don't know what's going on, he is, we all know Pewdiepie. I don't like his content. I don't subscribe to it. It seems it's a little strange to me, but that's not the point. The point is how he's been treated, in my opinion, and how he's been intentionally targeted for destruction by tired of this term, the mainstream media, the Wall Street Journal, specifically. And what they did is they took some of his stuff that he did, and I will agree that it was in bad taste, but he has every right to say it, and it was far from the anti-Semitic, and it was far from hateful. I just don't think Felix is that type of a person. And what they did is they completely manipulated it to make him look like a white supremacist Nazi. They even went so far as to take a picture of him pointing at something and giving the impression to the viewer that he was doing the Sieg Heil, the Nazi salute. And I just watched several videos on YouTube creators that have commented on this. Namely, the last one that I just watched is Casey Neistat's. I don't know what it is about him that so rubs me the wrong way, because I was such a huge fan of his content, and it really influenced the way that I make videos even to this day. I just loved it. And from the time that he came out with that Hillary Rodham Clinton, calling us out and telling us that that we were basically terrible people if we and complicit in racism and homophobia and bigotry if we didn't vote for this horrible woman, that was really it for me. I went back a couple times, what is he doing? And then I watched the video they did with Pewdiepie, and that was the nail in the coffin. If you go there and look at it, you'll see that just tremendous thumbs down, and it's just incredible to me how quickly he has turned into a pariah. And I look at that and I wonder what is it? Why is that? I don't think he's a bad person, and he's really puts a lot of time into family. One of my subscribers said a couple of years ago, you guys really have a lot in common. And I said, I don't know how you see that. He's kind of a New York hipster, and, we were out here doing our thing. It's like, well, you guys share the same things that are really important, integrity and family, putting family first and working hard. And I thought he really made a good point. And even though our lives were very much different, we did have a lot of those things in common. And I think it is he that has changed, and I think a lot of people realize that, and maybe that's what happens when you are bombarded with success. And I want to look at that and make sure, I never will achieve that type of success that he has had on YouTube, however that's measured. But I wonder if being told something, told that you're good or great or we love this or you can do no wrong by so many people, you don't start to buy into your hype. Because the reality of it is, I'm nothing more than a guy with a amateur camera, making videos and uploading them on YouTube on my laptop. I mean, let's see it for what it is. This is not anything really more than that. It's just me sharing my life, and my life is not any more important than any one of your lives. It's just I've chosen to do this, and the same thing for him. He is not he's not smarter than the rest of us. He's not better educated. He's not more informed than the rest of us. But when YouTube creators come off as if that they're coming from this point of wisdom, that they're going to climb up on this ivory tower and give the what for to all of us peons down in the trenches, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, actually. And you get that condescending nastiness from actors as well, that patronizing, condescending attitude. I thought we were talking about Felix, so let's wrap this up. So going back to Felix, so you know what? I've known this for a long time. I despise. I'm not going to use the word hate. I think that's a very strong word that I would reserve for. I don't even know what I would reserve it for. But I loathe the mainstream media. They are some of the most despicable people in the entire world. And the more that the more that I do YouTube, and the bigger the numbers get, and the more I come in contact with some of these people, it solidifies everything that I really knew. They are the most hateful, vengeful, cowardly, miserable, backbiting, backstabbing, manipulating lowlifes that I've ever come across. And when I watched what they did to Felix and the hit piece that they put out on him, and how they manipulated and changed what he did to make him portray him in a way that he wasn't, that's it. You know what it is that the mainstream media is. Do you know what death throes mean? People that may be dying and on the verge of death, they'll gather up a little bit of strength, that last little bit, to flop around or to cry out or to do something. That last is kind of called a death throw. It's a grim picture. These people, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of them, they're in the death throes. They're no longer relevant. Nobody's watching them anymore. Everyone knows that they're dishonest. Everyone knows what type of a despicable people they are, and they're turning away from them. And that's why, just like you, I'm going and finding my news and my interest, my entertainment from things that are authentic. I'm going to people that are going, when there's a riot on the streets, I'm going to YouTube channels that are streaming live. They're reporting. They're not polished. They're not experts. They might even be broadcasting from their phone, but I'm getting a real story. They're actually there. They're not trying to lie to me, and they don't hate America. And I'm just so aggravated by what they did, and I wish I had a bigger platform. I wish I could expose them to more people, because I just think that they're just the worst thing. I think that they are the ruin of our society. I really do. So, all right. Well, that's my rant. Thanks for watching. Keep me in your prayers, and we'll see you guys on the next video.